The Boy with the Tiny Belly Button, or the best diver in the whole wide world. Leo, Oscar and Lily are best friends. They like going on adventures together. They capture dangerous burglars. They explore dark caves. And now they're off looking for a long-lost treasure that pirates had sunk in a lake a long time ago. Today, Oscar's little cousin Jack, who is here on a visit, has joined the friends on their treasure hunt. As Leo puts on his trunks, Jack asks, "Why is your belly button so small? I can hardly see it." Suddenly, Leo isn't in the mood for treasure hunts anymore. He gets dressed and heads home. The others are puzzled as they watch him leave. On his way home, Leo is bothered by a lot of questions. Why is there a difference between me and the other kids? Why do I have a big scar on my belly? Why do I pee my pants sometimes? Back home, Leo asks his mum and dad all these worrying questions. Mum sits down at the kitchen table, puts her arm around Leo and says, "You know, all of this has to do with your bladder." Leo is confused. What's a bladder? And what has it got to do with my belly button? Dad takes paper and pen and starts to explain. The bladder is the part of your body that collects pee. Pee comes from your kidneys. From there, it trickles constantly into your bladder. The bladder slowly gets bigger and bigger, just like a balloon. "And then it bursts?" Leo asks, startled. "No, fortunately it doesn't," Dad laughs and carries on. When the bladder is full, most people feel a pressure and then realize that they need to go to the toilet. The bladder has a closure that works like a tap called the sphincter. You can tighten it or release it to let the pee out. So the pee flows from the bladder through the little pipe called the urethra into the toilet. "I don't always realize in time that I need to pee," Leo protests. "Look," says Mum, "there was a problem with your bladder when you were born." She fetches the photo album and opens it. Dad smiles. "We were so happy. For us, you were the cutest baby in the world." Mum continues, "But we were also scared. Your bladder wasn't under the skin, as it should have been, but a little red lump on top of your belly. Like this, it couldn't collect any pee. Also, the little pipe, your urethra, was open, like a water slide. The doctors said you needed surgery." Dad says, "We were very afraid for you, Leo. But we just had to take one look at you to know that you were a strong baby. Your operation lasted many hours. The doctors had to form a hollow bladder from the red lump and put it inside your belly. They also had to sew the open sides of your urethra together, so now it works like a pipe. And because no belly button had formed, the doctors created one for you." "So that's what happened," Leo nods. "And it's because of surgery that I have this big scar on my belly." "Exactly," Mum smiles. But Leo is still confused. "And why is it that I wet my pants? Couldn't the doctors build me this bladder closure thing too?" They built you a kind of closure, but it's not terribly strong, so sometimes it lets the pee through, explains Dad. Am I the only one with this problem? Leo asks. No, Mum says. You remember that place we drove to last summer? There were many children there just like you, all born with bladder exstrophy. You know, that's what they call it when you're born with a little red lump on your belly. Leo's dad continues. But there are also differences. Remember Will? His bladder is very, very small. He needs to go to the toilet every half hour, but he doesn't want to, so he wears nappies. Will, who's brilliant at football? Exactly, Dad says. There are also girls with bladder exstrophy, says Mum. Do you remember Sophie? Her pee trickled constantly like a leaky tap. So the doctors closed Sophie's bladder and made a tiny hole in her belly. It's called a stoma. When Sophie pushes a thin plastic tube into it, the pee flows from the bladder through the tube into the toilet. It doesn't hurt, it's just awkward in the beginning, but Sophie has got used to it. Sophie, who whistles loudly with 2 fingers? Exactly, Mum says. She carries on. For some children, the bladder has been completely removed. Now the pee flows into the intestine. Leo is startled. You can pee from your bottom? Mum nods. Yes, you can learn it. Remember Tim? That's how he does it. Tim, who stole the chocolate pudding from the dining room? Exactly, Dad grins. Naughty Tim. Leo is happy that he's not the only child that sometimes pees his pants and not the only one with a tiny belly button. As Leo is falling asleep, he starts to wonder whether his friends have already found the treasure. No, they haven't. But now they know where it is. They just need to raise it from the bottom of the lake. But of course they need someone who can dive well, and Leo can dive really well. So that's why Oscar, Lily and Jack have come to his door. Please come with us, pleads Oscar. We need you. Leo is thrilled to join the treasure hunt. Oscar shows him the spot where the treasure lies. As Leo changes, he notices Jack's gaze again. As a very small baby, I had surgery, he explains. Amongst other things, the doctors made me a belly button. He puts on his goggles, takes the snorkel in his mouth and dives into the cold water. Indeed, there is something glistening on the bottom. Leo dives deeper and deeper. As he nears the bottom, his hands stir up sand. They touch something hard. Leo struggles to free it from the ground, then suddenly he has a hold of it. Back on land, his friends examine the find. It's a can, says Jack. It's an ancient can. It must be very, very old, exclaims Oscar. I am sure it's a pirate can, says Lily in awe. Little Jack looks at Leo admiringly and gasps, You're the best diver in the whole wide world.